Hi everyone, welcome back to Needle Workshop. My name is Emily and I'm here today to show you how to assemble our newest pattern called Oni Girl. Today we'll be focusing on assembling the skirt and shirt, but we do have a full bundle available for sale online, which includes the shirt, skirt, obi, and kimono. The download also includes a super detailed written tutorial that has tons of info, such as how to properly measure yourself, how to print the pattern, some material suggestions, and super in-depth instructions. We also sell all the pattern pieces individually, so if you ever just want the shirt and skirt combo or the kimono, it'll all be available to you. The link to all these wonderful patterns will be in the description box below. As always, I suggest making a mock-up before starting. This is important since no two bodies are exactly the same, so this will allow you to test the fit and make any necessary tweaks to your costume before potentially ruining your really expensive fabric. Now, speaking of fabric, we personally ended up creating our own using a website called Spoonflower. It did come out with a slight defect, which might have been an issue on my end, but it's not super noticeable. So if ever you'd like to purchase the same one that we used, the link for it will be in the description box below. Also keep in mind that all our seam allowances are 1 centimeter from the edge, unless specified otherwise. And without any further ado, let's get started. Starting with your skirt front pieces, sew the darts shut and overlock your side seams. Iron your darts down towards the outer edges. Take out your back skirt piece and once again, sew your darts shut and overlock your side seams. The darts are also ironed down towards the outer edges. Right side to right side, align your front skirt pieces to the back skirt piece at the side seams and sew together, making sure to properly align all your notches. Iron your seam allowance open. Set your piece aside. Take out your small bias pieces. Right side to right side, sew together at the center back and iron your seam allowance open. Set aside. Take out your large bias pieces. Right side to right side, sew together at the center back and iron your seam allowance open. The center back for this piece has a pretty pronounced curve. Using your pattern as a reference, pin down the pleats at the top of the large bias piece. Stay stitched in place before proceeding to the next step. Take back out your small bias piece and right side to right side, align it to your large bias piece at the hem, making sure to properly align all your notches and your center back seam. Sew the two pieces together. Turn your piece inside out and iron your sewed edge flat, making sure to properly push out your seam for a clean finish. Next, overlock the other long edge of the small bias. Take back out your skirt. Right side to right side, align the large bias to the hem of the skirt, making sure to align all your notches and seams. Sew in place and then iron the seam allowance down towards the biases before folding the small bias over the seam allowance. Start at the top of the bias, which will fold in and perfectly place itself, and make your way around the skirt, placing the overlocked edge of the bias at 7 millimeters past the seam. Pin everything in place. Once everything is pinned, sew in place with a stitch in the ditch. You can see here that the skirt is slowly starting to come together, but we will finalize all the details of the skirt hem at the end. Take out your fully interfaced waistband pieces and sew the two pieces together right side to right side at the center back. Iron your seam allowance open. Make sure to overlock one of the longest lengths and then right side to right side, fold the waistband at each end and sew down. Turn each end inside out and iron your waistband in half. Right side to right side, align the sign of your waistband with no overlock to the waist of the skirt, making sure to align all your notches to their respective darts and seams. Pin in place and sew. Iron the seam allowance of the waistband and skirt up towards the waistband before folding over the waistband. Pin in place and sew down with a stitch in the ditch. Next, start by aligning your front darts before sewing in your two snaps. Make sure to place the right side of the skirt over the left side. Now that we can put on the skirt, we can come back to our hem. The first thing we'll do is attach our elastic pieces at the bottom of each side seam. I went ahead and placed pins where my notches are to make them more visually obvious on camera. Take out your elastic piece and place it 1 centimeter below your higher notch and sew in place at the notch. Once you have that done, fold the other end of the elastic in by 1 centimeter and align it to the lower notch and top stitch in place. With that in place, we can now handle the pleats in our hem. This part is actually pretty free-handed, so it's time to get creative. Start by pinning the excess fabric in creative ways along the hem to give it a lot of organic pleating. Where you install your pins is where you'll be tacking down the large and small bias pieces together to create a pleat. Most important here is to focus on the back. There is a lot of excess fabric here, which will absolutely need to be tacked into place. Your tacks can be done by hand or by machine. A good rule of thumb is to try and hide the stitches in between each folds. Now let's take a look at our finished skirt before moving on to our shirt. Moving on to our shirt, Start by overlocking the side seams of both the front pieces and the back pieces. Once you have everything overlocked, align your front pieces to your back piece, right side to right side, and sew together at the side seam and shoulder. Iron your seam allowances, open. Set aside and take out your front and back facing pieces. Right side to right side, align and sew at the shoulders and side seams. Iron your seam allowances, open. Next, start by aligning your facing to your shirt at one of the two armholes, making sure to properly align all your notches and seams. Cut notches into the seam allowance of the armhole. Turn inside out and iron your edge flat. Make sure to properly push out your seam for a clean edge. For your second armhole, start by aligning the two pieces together, wrong side to wrong side. Start aligning your piece right side to right side, making sure to align all your notches and seams. Sew together, cut some notches, and iron flat. At this point, I realized I forgot to overlock the lower edge of my facing, so I'm going to do that now before stitching the facing and shirt together at the side seam with a stitch in the ditch. Stay stitch the neck and facing of the shirt together, wrong side to wrong side. Next, overlock the center front and hem of the shirt. Turn in the center front by 1 centimeter, iron down and top stitch in place before turning in the hem by 1 centimeter, ironing it down and top stitching it too. Set your piece aside and take out your long collar pieces. Right side to right side, sew each pair together at the center back and iron your seam allowance open. Overlock the longer edge of one of the two collar pieces. Set that piece aside. Take back out your shirt and right side to right side, align the longer edge of the collar with no overlock to the neckline of the shirt. It's really important here to properly align all your notches and seams since you're aligning a convex and concave curve to each other. Sew together and make sure during this step that the collar sticks out past the center front of the shirt by 1 cm. Also make sure that your seam allowance is ironed flat towards the collar. Take back out your other collar piece and right side to right side, align it to the collar piece attached to the shirt. Sew together at the ends and along the inside curve. Before turning your piece towards the inside, cut some notches into the curve of the seam allowance and also cut off the excess seam allowance at the corners. Iron your seam allowance of the two collars towards the collar that has an overlock stitch and sew that collar to the seam allowance at 3 millimeters from the seam. Now you can turn your collar in, push out your corners and iron everything down, stitching the collar in place with a stitch in the ditch. Take out your under collar pieces and right side to right side, sew each pair together at the center back and iron your seam allowance open. Right side to right side, align the pieces together and sew in place at the ends and inner curve. Cut the excess fabric at the corners and cut notches into the curve before sewing the seam allowance to either one of the two colors. Once again, you'll want to stitch it 3 millimeters from the seam. Turn inside out and make sure to properly push out your corners and iron flat before overlocking the other two curved sides together. I finished the ends of my overlock by taking in the excess stitch into the stitch itself. Keep in mind that the side with the visible stitch will be the innermost layer, the one that sits against the skin. Take back out your shirt and align the inner collar to the top collar at the overlocked edge, the inside of the garment. You will stitch the two collars together between the two designated notches. You can refer to your pattern to make sure that you have the right notches. You will stitch in place with a stitch in the ditch. This piece is used to give the illusion of a double collar. We'll now need to apply all of our snaps. All the snap placements are on the pattern for reference. So now let's take a closer look. First, we have 8 small snaps at the hem of the shirt that will allow us to fold in our shirt and keep it folded in place. The reason we use snaps rather than sewing it in place is simply so that when you want to iron your shirt, you can remove that fold and iron the whole shirt down. You'll also have a snap placement at the small collar piece, which I'll let Julie position in herself, since this is her costume. You can 100% refer yourself to the pattern, but sometimes it can be handier to position them while wearing the piece on yourself. Lastly, you'll have 3 snaps positioned at the collar of the shirt with their matching snap on the shirt itself. If your fabric is thinner like mine, you can reinforce the area where you'll be sewing the snap to make sure it doesn't rip your fabric in the long run. Again, not all snaps here are installed since I want to let Julie position them herself. Now let's take a look at the finished costume with all of its pieces. Alright everyone, I hope this tutorial was helpful. If you have any questions, as always, please feel free to leave them in the comments section below. If you like this kind of content, then please give it a big thumbs up and make sure to subscribe and even ring the bell to be notified of all our upcoming content. This always really helps the channel. I also highly suggest checking us out on our social media platforms. You'll find lots of updates and info there that you won't find here on YouTube. So if you're ever interested, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Also, if you ever use any of our patterns or tutorial, feel free to let us know. We really love seeing your work and we love to share it to our, to our people. Until next time, good luck with your projects, guys. Bye-bye.